The challenges we face are getting chicken feed because we get them from the open market. So there is times when it is on season, off season. It takes not very little money because if I make quote exactly here, we have to buy 2.5 tons of feeds every day. It's very unfortunate that banks here deal purely commercially with whoever comes to them with agriculture. And such projects are projects you put down, put in implements, and wait for production to come at a much later stage, which the banks here do not see and do not recognize.
We've gone to the bank, we've asked them that, why is it that only 10% of your listings, your loans, or 6 to 10% went into agriculture? Why don't you spread that credit net to meet all the producers? And what the banks have said to us is that the risk profile of those farmers and others are just too high, and the default rate is very high. So the point is that how do we address that problem?
If you look at all these projects that are rejected, it's not that they are not based on good ideas. It's just how you develop the idea to become, a business. The nature of the agricultural sector requires that you be a little bit patient if you want to get, returns. So, but through the business development fund that we have as a country, through a number of financial schemes that we have, even in our ministry, we do have a number of schemes that support farmers to access finance. But we've now even gone a little bit beyond to even work on helping in developing the business plans.
If you look at the banks, most of the lending that they do are secured lending. So it means that the banks may also require a collateral. I mean, the smallholder farmers in particular don't have a collateral. I mean, they may have land, but the land is in a location that probably haven't got any real value to it. So the point is that if the bank is asking them for a collateral, where do they get it from? And the banks, most of their lending is secured, and they will not give money to smallholder farmers if they don't have this collateral. What we are doing is that as an institution, as a private sector institution, we are working with the bank for them to accept the grains that these farmers put in our certified warehouses under the guarantees of a collateral manager. The banks accept it as a sole collateral to lend to the farmers.
Branding and packaging have been key concerns when it comes to the shelf life of Rwandan products across the borders. There is still a lot that needs to be done to maintain competitiveness within the region and on the global market.
In terms of branding, we've at least come up with a brand for coffee. We have a national brand. We've got also a national brand for horticulture. In terms of giving a uniform picture of our brands in horticulture and coffee, towards the end of the year we'll also have a brand of origin or a mark of origin for our teas, so that each of the factories can be able to have its own mark of origin, so we're working on that.
Before reaching, branding, it comes back first to quality of those products we are talking about. So we are investing heavily in making sure that we have the right standards in place. Competitiveness is something that we are currently working on. We know that we cannot compete on quantities, looking at the size of the country and what we can produce. But at least our products are recognized, as products of good quality. So we need to keep investing in that to make sure that we win on that part, and then we continue also with the branding, as part of a national branding strategy.
Moving forward, the various priorities have been identified with the EDPRS2 and Vision 2020 targets in mind. These include the identification of potential sources of rapid and sustainable growth and the prioritization of actions needed to stimulate increased agricultural growth.
We are happy to see the progress we've made. In fact, we've been able to achieve a growth of the sector of between 5 and 6%, over the last 10 years. It's something that had never been achieved before, but we are even more ambitious going forward because we want to achieve an 8.5% growth for the next years. And that will require even more efforts, especially this time driven by the private sector, because we all know that for this economy to be sustained, the driving force will have to be the private sector.